Alex Clark, thank you so much for sitting down with the Daily Signal while we're here at the Turning Point Women's Leadership Summit in San Antonio, Texas. So you host a podcast, Culture Apothecary, produced by Turning Point. You speak all about health and wellness, from how to be a godly husband to how to be a godly wife, and how to prevent Alzheimer's and maybe even the possible benefits of nicotine. You hit every angle. So tell us a little bit about how you got started with that and how that has changed Turning Point.
Yeah, during the pandemic, I was doing another show for Turning Point, but I was being red-pilled on the health issue because we were mandated to take the vaccine, right? Just across the country, not Turning Point USA, but across the country, told you can't travel, you can't participate in public spaces if you don't have this vaccine. And I was so disturbed by that. As somebody who had never questioned what's in our food or what, the pharmaceutical industry says, I had never thought that there could be anything nefarious with those different industries. And I was like, well, I wonder if the FDA has ever been wrong before. Of course, that led me down a rabbit hole. I learned about all kinds of things, from thalidomide to even Oxycontin, right? Oxycontin comes out in the late 90s. We're told that it is the first non-addictive opioid. Well, that was a lie, and basically jump-started the entire opioid crisis that we now know today. And so I was like, I'm not taking this. And when you start looking into pharma corruption, it inevitably leads you to food corruption. And when I found out, that we have nearly 10,000 chemicals that are allowed in American food that are not allowed in the food in other countries, I was so angry. And I just thought, as a conservative, why don't I know this? Why is it that only the left talks about this? Liberals are who have been talking about vaccines and raw milk. It wasn't us. GMOs. Organic food. I thought growing up as a conservative that GMOs were fake and organic food was a myth just to get you to spend more money at the grocery store. I was so in the dark and ignorant about all of these issues. And it turns out this is the one W I will give the left, is that the left was right about food and pharma corruption. Now, of course, also during the pandemic, so the right is coming around on pharma and vaccines, and then the left, all of a sudden, they can't sit at the same table with us. So then they completely pivot all of their long-held values and beliefs on those issues. So when it comes to Turning Point, I was telling Charlie, I could see it when I would talk about these health topics. My audience and analytics exploded, and I could see that my audience really cared about health. And I told Charlie the future of the conservative women. I told Charlie that the future of the conservative movement with women was going to be health and wellness. And at first everybody was kind of like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I need you to trust me. If we want to gain female voters, we need to start talking about corruption in food and pharma. Sure enough, a few months later, right, RFK comes out on stage, he bands together with Donald Trump, the conservative movement explodes. Women are beside themselves and just ready to vote for Trump when they never were willing to before because of the MAHA initiative. And so I was so excited. Charlie really believed in this. I rebranded my entire show to be a health and wellness podcast from a conservative perspective. And the show saw just grandeur success that we had never seen before when that happened. So it was truly a passion on my heart to talk about these issues. I didn't know that RFK was going to come out and endorse Trump. I didn't know that MAHA would become a thing. It was my intuition, which was right. It was the right place, right time, God's timing, that made it all come together so beautifully. And Turning Point has just been incredibly supportive from the beginning. Every single random show idea or thing that I've had, they've really given me the creative freedom to do. Not a lot of conservative media companies will give their hosts that much freedom. I chose the name, the colors, the slogan, the format, everything is me. And so I'm really thankful that Charlie has always trusted me to kind of just follow my instincts, and they were like, we're gonna have your back the whole way.
And your branding is one of my favorite things.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thanks
you
for
did
saying
a
that.
beautiful job with the rebrand. I was so excited to see it and love your show. And you talked a little bit about how when RFK came out on stage and this MAHA movement erupted, and it's now almost taken over or become equal with the MAGA movement. Just last week we saw Randy Feenstra, Trump endorsed, get defeated by Zach Lane, MAHA endorsed, in the Republican governor primary in Iowa. That was so unexpected. What contributed to that? Turning Point was an endorser of him.
Yeah, so what we're seeing across the country is that candidates who have these three things are winning. It's a MAHA endorsement, it's a MAGA endorsement, and it's a Turning Point Action endorsement, our 501c4 sister organization. And so people that have those three things, I think that's really the ticket that's resonating with voters. And what's happening is MAHA moms will crawl through broken glass to vote for MAHA candidates. Like if you espouse these ideals, which Zach Lane does. We just elected a anti-pesticide farmer in the biggest farming state in the United States that is completely controlled by big ag and big chem. Like Bayer runs Iowa. Are you kidding me? So the fact that he was elected tells you how powerful the MAHA coalition is. I have been saying this for the last year of how powerful. I believe that we won 2024 because of these women. I believe if these women are ignored, we're going to lose the midterms, and I believe that we will lose 2028. So it's really up to us not to let these voters slip through our fingers, because they are so emboldened and passionate about these issues. They will vote for whichever party is promoting those health ideals. So if the Democrats start to do that, they're going to vote Democrat. If we keep a stronghold on them and we don't break promises and we keep doing what we said we're going to do, they will stay loyal to us. But it's not a long-term relationship right now, right? We're just in the talking stage. We're in a situationship with these women, and we need to make it official. And the way to do that before midterms in 2028 is to keep our promises. And honestly, we are failing at that when it comes to pesticides. But if you think that we need to be beholden to the chemical manufacturers over American families and moms and children, then look at what happened in Iowa. Look at what happened in the Farm Bill on a federal level, where we took the pesticide liability shield out, and look at states like Florida and Kansas and Tennessee, where MAHA moms killed the pesticide liability shield. That happened because of moms, boots on the ground, getting things done and calling legislators and politicians and telling them, I will primary you if you don't do this.
You've talked about pesticides. This has been a big topic for you. You were on the steps of the Supreme Court for that Montecito case. Explain to us what a pesticide liability shield is, and if this gets through the Supreme Court, what could that mean for farmers?
Okay, so a pesticide liability shield is just like what we have with vaccines. So remember in the late 80s, there basically was a liability shield that was put on vaccines, where if you are harmed by a vaccine product, you cannot, or it's extremely difficult to sue a vaccine manufacturer. This is what they're wanting to do with over 57,000 chemicals in the United States. So it's not only things like glyphosate sprayed on crops and our food and our produce. That also could be ready Roundup in your garage. It could be ant traps in your home. It could be chemicals found in the cleaning supplies under your sink. So chemicals in your clothing, your mattress at home, literally chemicals that are in anything. If you are harmed, if you or a loved one becomes incredibly sick or develops Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Because that is happening, right?
No, it is happening. This is when people say, well, glyphosate is safe. That's what the chemical lobbyists and the ag lobbyists will say. Glyphosate is safe. Really? So if it's safe, why have we settled over $16 billion with a B dollars in lawsuits? You don't settle $16 billion in lawsuits for cancer, by the way, if it's safe. So we know that that's a lie. And it's our farmers, by the way, because they're like, well, we can't take pesticides away, it'll hurt the farmers. One, we're not advocating to take pesticides away overnight. It's a long, drawn-out process to help farmers, and Zach Lane is going to be instrumental in doing this because he is a farmer who knows how to farm without them. So it's an education process to help farmers know how to wean off of these deadly pesticides for their own health and then the health of the American people. Is it going to take time and money? Yes. But look at all of the wasteful spending that we currently have in government, which I know the Trump admin is doing a fantastic job with fraud trying to get that out. But all of that money that's been wasted on fraud, what if we start now putting that instead towards our farmers and helping them learn how to farm regeneratively? We could be the strongest, healthiest nation in the entire world if we are able to do this and fix our food.
Wow. So going to your big announcement yesterday on stage, you revealed Vance, your new fiance. It was so exciting to watch. Your fans might have noticed some Easter eggs that you'd been dropping about him for a few months now. Maybe some Taylor Swift inspiration there.
Yeah, my team has a lot of fun. My social media team has a lot of fun doing that. They were doing some like hidden letters and hints and things leading up. I think they spelled like wifey or something leading up to this event. So people are like, wait, what's going on? I mean, my fans are so fun. They know that I like to have fun like that. They know I'm a huge Swiftie. So anytime that we can do some kind of like little hints or clues or puzzles or whatever, like we like to do that. But yeah, it couldn't have gone better last night. That was so much fun. We just happened to get engaged right in a good amount of time before this event so that we could do this. Obviously, if I got engaged 6 months ago, I wouldn't be able to keep it a secret for that long, but this worked out so well, and the timing to get to announce and share this for the first time with the girls who have been listeners of my show, supporters of Turning Point from 2019 when I started at Turning Point, like the journey from then till now that they've stuck with me and then get to share this with them first before anyone was really, really special to me. And it's because I really do think of my audience as friends. I am the one that responds to their messages every day. I talk to them every day. I know what's going on in their life. They know what's going on in my life. And so, it's something it's way beyond just like listeners. I mean, it truly is a friendship. There's trust there, there's rapport there, and it means the world to me, and I take it very seriously.
Do you think you'll take any wedding planning inspiration from Taylor Swift, since she's kind of in the
I don't know.
stage of life?
If she gets married before me, I definitely might take some notes. I love wedding inspiration. I'm loving that right now. I'm really into, for my wedding and my wedding dress look, I'm really into like 1989 to 1995 Dior bridal. Like if you Google that and look up those dresses and kind of that aesthetic, that's what I'm going for. Think of like, I said this in EV magazine recently, but like a aristocrat at a chateau in 1991, like that's the look I'm going for. I do not want to look like a 2026 bride. I want to look like I stepped out of another era, and I don't want it to look like anyone else. Absolutely no shade towards anyone that wanted to do like a fit and flare wedding dress and half up, half down, but like I got to see something different. I feel like everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah, completely. And so you're in this new phase of life. Your life is going to change. God willing, you have children. I think that's something that sounds like you want.
Yeah.
Do you think your content's going to change with that?
Of course, yes. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to share those types of things, mistakes that I'm making, things that I've learned, like just as I go, just like, here's what I'm dealing with, here's what I found that works, here's what I found that doesn't. Like, that's going to add a whole new layer of the conversations because I've already been talking about marriage and parenting. It's just, I'm not giving the advice. I have my opinions, but I can't speak from experience. I have expert guests on who speak from experience and then, have an expertise on these subjects, which is phenomenal. So I've been able to help so many families through the guests that I have on my show, but it's so cool to get to like go through this now and also be like trying out some of these things that I'm learning and sharing with my audience.
And you might have recently talked about this on an episode of yours, but do you think you'll show your children's faces online?
Okay, so if it's me deciding only, then I think I probably would, but it would be like very selective, like not all the time and just like a few like key like life moments. But Vance, my fiance, does not want to show our kids' faces. So I gotta, right? It's submission. So since that's what he wants for our family, then we're not gonna be posting our kids' faces. But I'll probably do like the back of the head or like side of the face, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna steal one of your questions. You close your show at the end of this every time. What is one remedy that you would use to heal a sick culture?
I guess I could say get married now, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I get to say that. Wow.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're so excited for you and to watch this new journey of yours in this new season of life. So thanks so much for joining us and have a great rest of Women's Leadership Summit.
Thank you so much.